Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you've ever bought or sold in Ottawa before, you know exactly how quickly things can shift. And right now, we're seeing some early signs that this spring might not play out like last year. Detached homes are staying solid, townhomes are cooling off, and the condo market, well, let's just say if you're watching that space, you'll want to pay close attention. Inventory is climbing, buyers are being more selective, and with the Bank of Canada hinting at more interest rate drops, well, strategy matters more now than ever before. And if you're thinking about making a move or picking up another property, I'm breaking down the March numbers and what they actually mean. Not just for first-time home buyers, but for people like you who've done this before and who want to get it right. So let's go. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about what actually happened in March 2025. Ottawa saw 1,103 residential sales last month. That's down just over 6% from this time last year, so activity is pulling back slightly. But what stands out to me isn't the number of deals, it's the shift in inventory levels and buyer behavior. There were 2,221 new listings, a 4% increase year over year. But active inventory shot up over 60%, landing at 4,319 homes on the market. That's the highest March inventory we've seen in years, and has pushed our months of inventory up to 3.9 compared to 2.3 this time last year. That's a big jump, and it tells us that buyers have more choice and they're taking their time. Prices, meanwhile, held firm. The average sale price was $685,000, basically flat from this time last year, and the median home price sale is $644,000, up about 2%. So the bottom line, we're in a balance to leaning towards a buyer's market right now. Prices aren't crashing, but the pace has clearly slowed. And if you know how to read the environment, that creates opportunities. All right, so let's break it down by property type, because this market isn't moving as one, and each segment of the market obviously is telling a different story. So let's start with detached homes. Detached sales came in at 550 transactions in March, down about 6% year over year. But pricing stayed solid. The average sales price hit $851,000, which is actually up 0.9% from last March. Inventory is building in this segment and it's up about 45%, but demand is still there. Buyers are just more selective, and if you're holding a well-presented detached in a good area, pricing it right still gets you traction. Townhomes. Now, this is where we start to see pressure. Townhomes had 347 sales, which is actually a slight bump year over year, but prices itself dropped. The average townhome price fell 3.3% to $558,000. And inventory, well, it's up nearly 95%. And this segment is softening, especially in the outer suburbs. If you're looking to enter or expand in this space, this might be where negotiating room happens. Condos. All right. The biggest shift was in the condo market. Sales dropped 26% with just 177 units sold, and the average price fell nearly 3% to $426,000. Inventory here is high, and it's up 73%. And we're sitting at 5.5 months of supply, which puts this into clear buyer's market territory. If you're selling a condo right now, strategy matters more than ever. Timing, presentation, and price have to be dialed in. So across the board, we're not seeing dramatic price swings, but we are seeing a slower pace, more inventory, and very different dynamics by property type. Knowing the difference is key. All right, so let's talk about what's really behind the numbers, because this isn't about spring activity. First off, the Bank of Canada made its move in early March, cutting key interest rates by 25 basis points. That's brought down the rate to 4.75%, and while it's not a massive drop, it's enough to shift the tone of the market. Some buyers took that as a green light to re-engage, especially those who've been waiting from the sidelines. Others, well, they're still holding out, waiting for another cut or more clarity heading into the spring. Let's wait for the April 16th Bank of Canada announcement and see if there's more rate cuts. Meanwhile, inventory has spiked. We're sitting at over 4,300 active listings. That's 60% higher than this time last year. So even with rates easing, buyers aren't rushing in. They're being strategic, patient, and selective, which makes sense because this market isn't a one-size-fits-all. Add in the rising construction and the material costs driven by the global tariffs and supply chain strains, and you've got upward pressure on new builds, which keeps resale homes looking more attractive if they're move-in ready and well priced. This isn't a market to guess at, it's a market to read carefully and act with intent. All right, so let's cut through all the BS and get to the part that matters most. How to move in this market depending on which side you're on. If you're buying, especially if this isn't your first, the advantage is in the patience and the precision right now. The rate cut gives you a bit more breathing room, and with inventory up, you've got options and leverage. The best plays, townhomes and condos, are showing signs of softness, and that's where you might be able to negotiate real value, especially on stale listings or sellers who are priced too high out of the gate. If you're selling, especially in the detached segment, pricing and presentation is everything. Buyers are active, but they're not rushing. If your home's clean, move-in ready, and priced in line with current comps, you'll still move. But don't expect bidding wars on average properties. This is a market for strategy, not shortcuts, and that's where a tailored approach pays off. All right, so here's the bottom line. Like I've said throughout this entire video, this isn't a market for guesswork. Whether you're selling a detached home, or you're looking to pick up a rental, or you're just waiting for the next opportunity to line up, success right now comes from strategy, not speed. And the best way to do that is to have a strategy call with me without obligations or anything else. Go to my website at markbelangerrealty.com, scroll down just a little bit, you'll get a link into my calendar. The best thing we can do is have a 15-minute or a half an hour call, no obligations, just to have that initial call to determine, is now the right time? How is the market doing? What are your short and midterm goals? From there, we can develop a strategy. From there, we can determine what our next steps are and move forward on all of this. So just a short video. I enjoy putting the market stats together. I'll do that on a monthly basis. I look forward to putting these videos together. And until the next video, take care. Reach out to me if I could be of any help, and I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.